That means that I've been down, I've been run over, I've been defeated, but the Lord stepped in and he picked me up and he gave me strength and he gave me victory and he gave me power. Look at somebody and say, well, I used to be a victim, but now I'm a victor. Oh, look at what the Lord has done. Because when you recognize you're a victor, then you walk with your head up. You square your shoulders. And even if the enemy is approaching, you don't have to worry about it, because the text says that God fights your battle. Is there anybody in the house that can attest to the fact that God has fought my battles? That God has fought my battles, and he didn't just fight them, but the Bible says that he destroyed my enemies. I need for you to know, ain't that the God we serve? Not only will he give you victory, but he'll wipe your enemy out. And I need somebody to look at what the Lord has wiped out in your life. For somebody it was depression, and you ought to give him a praise. For somebody it was poverty, and you ought to give him a praise. For somebody it was insecurity, you ought to give him a praise. Oh, some of y'all got quiet now, because now maybe your pride stepped in, and pride says, I can't admit I was depressed. But remember, in the earlier part of the sermon, we already determined that I will not hold back on what God has done. Even if my neighbor knows I've got some flaws, I'm still willing to risk it in order to give God some praise. Is there anybody in the house that can say, when I think about all of the enemies that the Lord has wiped out in my life, some have been physical and some have been spiritual, but I thank God that I am a victor. Look at somebody and say, he destroyed all my enemies. Is there anybody in the house that can say there were times when I woke up depressed, but thanks be to God, I've got joy, unspeakable joy? Is there anybody in the house that can say there have been times when I was all confused and chaos was all around me, but now I've got peace that surpasses all understanding? Look at somebody and say, there were times when I was weak in my body, but I've learned that my strength is made perfect in my weakness. Look at somebody and say, I look at what the Lord has done, and he has done great things. Give somebody a high five and say, excuse me now, but when I look back at what the Lord has done, I didn't come here this morning to be cute and look good, but I came to acknowledge what the Lord has done. I tried to slow walk it, but I can't slow walk it, because you don't know like I know what the Lord has done for me. And is there anybody in the house that can say he's worthy of all my praise? He's worthy from the rising of the sun until the going down of the same. I've gone from one extreme to the other. Look at somebody and say, ain't that just like God? He'll take you from one extreme to the other, one extreme to the other, from victim to victor. There ought to be somebody that knows what I'm talking about. Just tap two people and say, my God has done great things. My God has done great things. My God has done great things. Shout yeah. One extreme to the other. You heard it even on last week, where the preacher said that there was a man named Joseph. Look at your neighbor, say one extreme to the other. And somebody knows the story of Daniel. One extreme to the other. Somebody knows about Elijah. One extreme to the other. I wish I had some Bible readers here. Somebody knows what God is able to do. But come here, Jesus, and let me have a talk with you. And Jesus would say, I know what it's like to go from one extreme to the other, because I am God, but I emptied myself and I became flesh from one extreme to the other. I endured persecution. I endured pain. I endured hardships. And I died one Friday. And I got up Sunday morning. I was dead. But now I live one extreme to the other. There'll be somebody in the house that can say, I once was lost, but now I'm found. One extreme to the other. I was blind, but now I see. One extreme to the other. And all I'm trying to tell you is look at what the Lord has done. And there ought to be a praise in your spirit. There ought to be a shout in your spirit. There ought to be a clapping in your hands, because guess what, y'all? Remember, you promised me that you were going to read the text today. And if you look at the text, you will see that when God said, I'm going to put you in a homeland and your enemies will not rise against you again, then what God is saying is that not only am I going to take you from victim to victor, and not only am I going to make a way for you, and not only am I going to cover you, but God says they will never be able to touch you again. I need for somebody to get that in your spirit. What you've been through, it ain't coming back, because my God has protected you. Shout yes. What I've already been through, it won't show up again. That's a shout for somebody, because you just got your breakthrough. And the devil said, I'll be back. Well, if he comes back, he got to come another way, because that one has already been sealed. Look at somebody and say, my God will give me power to be the victor. If he shows up again, I'll win again. If he shows up after that, I'll keep on winning, because my God has done great things. I'm done, y'all. But think about what the Lord has done. Ain't he worthy? Ain't he worthy? Ain't he worthy? Shout yes. Shout yes. Shout yes. Shout yes. Some of y'all just looking and some going through the motion, but I need for you to think that if the Lord hadn't picked you up this morning, where you would be. If the Lord hadn't dried your tears, think about where you'd be. If the Lord hadn't given you a job, think about where you would be. And for those that don't have one, and you don't look like you don't have one, then you got a praise right there. Look at somebody and say, when I think about what the Lord has done, it brings joy, 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 joy.